feeling good today. What's up, everybody? Welcome in to the Early Edge, your daily sports betting brand of record. We are powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all of sports betting, and it's not even close. Now, this is a special day. It's the end of our week because, as you know, we do things differently here at the Early Edge. Tuesday is the start of our week, but this is the start of Players Week. This is the start of Championship Week. With all due respect to the NFL, this is my favorite 4 weeks of the entire year. And by the way, we're going to start with a big-time thank you to all of you at home. You made this weekend the largest live audience viewership in the history of the show. You guys did that. So let's keep it going. Now, a lot of you, when he missed his first 2 picks, when he started doing NBA this year, you were all over him. Oh, those haters are very silent now. Prop Stars going 5-0 over the weekend with the NBA props, which are posted now at SportsLine as well. But we want to know if you think you can beat us. How good do you think you really are? Well, it's time to enter the Early Edge March Madness Bracket Challenge. There is a QR code on the screen right now, or you can go to tinyurl.com/earlyedgebracket. It's about tournament glory. It's about legacy. It's about getting the job done. So, on a Monday, when I'm getting ready to go wheels up to the Players' Championship immediately after the show, what do? Well, I bring in the absolute stars. You know them. You love them. We start with a sport that has been absolutely bananas. Buckets, you and all your people in the soccer world, how have you been handling this morning? My goodness.
Good morning, Coach. At this point, we're just happy to be alive and happy to be here because I don't know how you predict some of these games. I'm still recovering from whatever the heck happened yesterday, but it's a new week, and I'm excited to get back to it.
Liverpool 7-0 over Man United. That's all you need to know. For all of you who want to go, oh, buckets, oh. Nobody right now can pick 7-0. 7-0. That's all I need to say. Now, this man, this is his time. Last year, he kind of quietly walked into March and became a savage. Live from Las Vegas, Nevada. Sin City. Zack Attack. Zack Cimini, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Glad to be back to see everyone on the show today. And yeah, it's conference tournament time, Coach. I've already got a couple futures in that are still going in the Big Sky and Southland. And today I'm going to break down the rest of my conference tournament action, futures, that is.
Can't wait for that. All right. And finally, this man, you saw him hosting on Saturday, doing a phenomenal job. But I thought today I would kind of come and kind of tout myself a little bit before I get to see you. See, I'm looking at our early wedge picks right here, and I hit my top 20 Jason Day plus money, Victor Hovland plus money, top 20, Scotty Scheffler top 10 plus money, cashed that. 2 of my head-to-head matchups cashed, and all of my 3 winners finished in the top 15, so I'm on the right track there. Not bad for your boy, would you say?
I think not bad is the appropriate way to describe it. It's not excellent. I mean, if you're looking for excellent, you're looking for what I did at the API, which of course is 3 for 3 tournament head-to-heads, 2 for 3 in tournament head-to-heads, 3 for 3 on the DFS plays, a near miss on the first round leader, which would have been 3 first round leaders in a row, and a near miss on the outright, which would have been 3 out of the last 5 tournaments picking the outright. Of course, I had Hatton and Hovland as 2 of my 4 outrights. So, Coach, no disrespect. It's a fine tournament record you had for the API, but great. I don't know. I think we got to reserve that for what I did.
Wow. Maybe next time I need to prepare a little bit more and actually look at your picks before I come onto the show and just get blasted. Respect, though. Much respect to that. And all kidding aside, if you guys aren't watching the early wedge, did you just hear Sia? Did you just hear the counselor? We're killing it. I don't even know what Patrick did. Just with our 2 picks, we killed it. All right. Oh, man, that fired me up. I got to be better. I got to be better than great. All right, let's get into it. Storylines that could affect the betting lines today. And, Zack, we're starting with you because right now, basketball and golf are taking center stage. What do you got for us this morning?
The Southern Conference Final actually has a pretty good buzz on Twitter right now because it's going to be a repeat matchup. And that's one thing I love about the Southern Conference. They steal the spotlight of the smaller conference tournaments that are going on before the big tournaments start. Every year, you're going to watch this game at night, and we're getting Furman versus Chattanooga once again, the 2 teams that had the Classic last year. Furman should have got to the big dance. Chattanooga heaved in a last-second 3-pointer that went in. They went to the big dance, and they really were underachieving most of the year, but they got hot in the tournament, largely because their big man, Jake Stevens, came back. He's propelled them. He's going to shoot the 3. He's getting the rebounds inside. He's really catapulting them. And I think that's why we've seen this big line move from Furman -8 all the way down to -4. And Furman isn't playing their best basketball right now. I touched on them when they were in their hot streak right in the middle of it. They were 6-1 ATS, got all the way to 11-1 ATS, but down the stretch of the year, double-digit favorites, barely could get by East Tennessee State, barely could get by Western Carolina yesterday, lost to Citadel, had another match against Mercer that they were double-digit favorites, barely got past them. And in their first-round matchup against Mercer, they were down at half. So Furman not playing their best basketball right now. Maybe yesterday was a wake-up call against Western Carolina because they shouldn't have won the game. If you watch that game, there was a very, very questionable foul on a three-point shot where they were down by 1 in overtime. I would say that probably wouldn't be called 2 times out of 10, but they got the 3 free throws, and now they're moving on today.
All right, a lot of information right there. Educate and entertain. These smaller conferences, do you want to do the work? I didn't think so. Zack Attack, thank you very much. Now, there is only one word that I can use to describe the soccer world right now. And at CBS, where we work, we are all in on soccer. So there's nowhere for us to go. Volatility is the word I'm talking about. Buckets, what do you got?
Coach, that's the only PG word I can use to describe the soccer world right now because I don't know what the hell is going on right now. That Liverpool-Manchester United game yesterday completely shattered any semblance that we had of consistency in this league. The game was 0-0 in the 40th minute. Freya, my dog, told me that she had to go out for a walk. I went out for a walk, and I came back, and it was 5-0. Over 1.5 goals in that game at the 40th minute was plus 150, and that game ended with Manchester United having their worst defeat in Premier League Manchester United history. 7 goals came in the last 50th minute, and on top of that, that's not the most crazy game we really saw this past weekend. Right now, volatility is the word because we've never seen this type of structure in top league play before. The World Cup hangover is a real thing. We had 12 games yesterday in Liga, Serie A, and La Liga. Under 2.5 goals hit in 10 of those 12 games. BTTS only hit in 2 of those. And the most common scoreline was 0-0 across all major games yesterday. We have to be very careful moving forward because right now teams just cannot find any kind of form. Underdogs are winning all over the place. And it's going to force us to either start betting unders or to look back at some of these smaller leagues, Coach.
That's right. Taylor said it best. Soccer is drunk right now. They just don't. I mean, yesterday I cashed 2 unders because I just blindly played them. I looked at their last 2 or 3 games. I'm like, nobody's scoring here. And it's bananas. We talked about it during the World Cup, and we said this could happen. You were dead on about that, and that's happened. So take your units down just a little bit. Take the amount that you're betting down a little bit, and just maybe do soccer for fun right now. And then we'll get back where we can, gauge what the hell is going on. All right. Sia Nejad. We just touted our early wedge picks. We've been killing it week after week after week. But this is the biggest week of the entire year for the players on the PGA Tour because it is the Players Championship. And first cut in the early wedge, we will be well represented. Me and Mark Emmelman partners this week at the Players. But when I look at what happened yesterday and all the players that are going to be heading into this week with a chip on their shoulder, Rory couldn't get it done. Spieth couldn't get it done. Scheffler couldn't get it done. Hatton couldn't get it done. Hovland could not get it done. It was a little-known player named Kurt Kitayama that took home the $3.6 million, and now he squarely has a target on his back heading into this week. Talk to me.
Yeah, good for Kurt Kitayama for getting it done. Real quick correction. I don't want to misspeak. On my record at the API, one thing I left out was 2 out of 3 top 20s, all of which were at plus money. So just wanted to make sure the record was crystal clear on how well the API went for the early wedge specifically. But yeah, this is so interesting. It's so interesting that Kurt Kitayama held up among all of those players that you talked about, the Rory McIlroys of the world, Tyrrell Hatton, Victor Hovland. I don't really see that happening at the Players, but that's the beauty of golf, right? Whether it's a designated event or a non-designated event, these guys like Kurt Kitayama, like Eric Cole, who we saw a couple of weeks ago, they can emerge and win these tournaments. Now, this specific tournament, that's probably not going to happen because we have so many good guys at the top. This is going to be a really, really good tournament. I genuinely can't wait to break it down. I genuinely can't wait to hear you and Mark Immelman on the call at the Players. There's a lot to look forward to in golf, and it's certainly not just this week. It's basically for the next 6 months. So everybody really needs to dial in.
Yeah, featured groups are already out. You can go to social media and see what groups we will be calling this week. PGA Tour Live on ESPN The Plus. All right, we have a brand new segment on the show where we break down the biggest games of the day so you can have the information. May lead to a pick for you, but as I always say, knowledge is power. All right, it's time for marquee matchups. We're going to start first in the National Basketball Association because the Celtics are on the road tonight to take on the Cavaliers. Now, if you watched last night on ESPN, what a game. Double overtime, but the C's did it again. They built a double-digit lead, and then they let it go. And how about Quigley in place of Brunson for the Knicks? Are we sleeping on the Knicks? He had 38. He was dynamic last night. Couldn't believe how good he played. Sixth man of the year, by the way. So, Sia, let's start with you. The Cavs are laying 6 tonight. The total is 218.5. And when you have a team coming off a double overtime thriller, and then they got to get on a plane and travel, I can already smell my pick. What do you like today?
Oh, I'm smelling the same thing. I like the situation for the Cavaliers for sure. And for the record, that Knicks call, I was on here yesterday saying I thought the Celtics would probably pull away ultimately in yesterday's game. I think I have a misread on the Knicks. I think they're kind of like fluff in large part, and when the playoffs start, they're going to kind of fade. But in the East, I actually think it's more wide open than people think. But as far as this game that you're asking about, yeah, I'm going to lean on Cleveland. It's a tough spot for the Boston Celtics. Like you said, getting on a plane. It's a Monday night. These are one of those games where it's not featured like it was yesterday. The double overtime. There's a lot of things working against the Celtics and working for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Exactly right. It is a nationally televised game, though, on ESPN. Now that football's over, a lot more NBA every single night almost. All right, marquee matchup number 2. And, Zack, I'm coming to you first because tonight, kind of a light night as far as the big teams are concerned because all these tournaments start either tomorrow or on Wednesday where we will have full days of games. But this is all about the West Coast Conference. BYU and St. Mary's. St. Mary's is laying 7. The total is 130. 9 p.m. Eastern is the tip. This is happening out where you live on the West, in the West. What do you got, Zack?
Oddly enough, I had notes for all 3 of these marquee matchups, and I get the one that disgusts me in BYU versus St. Mary's. And I'm going to tell you why it does here in a second. But this could be a look-ahead spot. I went to the tournament last year. Gonzaga fans are going to pack the arena. It's going to be largely their fans that are going to be there. But St. Mary's could still be looking ahead to face Gonzaga because they want to get that at large, obviously, after losing to them in the last matchup that they played. But St. Mary's has struggled covering against BYU. They've won the 3 of the past matchups, but they are 0-3 ATS, and that is a big deal. I still will lean on St. Mary's side. I don't think I would bet it with my money, maybe in-game money, but I would bet it at -7. I would not play it pregame. And why it disgusts me, going back to last season, this was February and Saturday. I was having a good Saturday, college basketball-wise, and this play was going to make my day. It was a $440 bet on St. Mary's. They're up 62-46. You can go back and research this. I had this play posted as well. And 7 minutes to go, they just completely melt. They end up winning by just 5 points. BYU does not foul off a rebound with like 14 seconds left. You never see that. Does not foul. So there goes that $440 bet. I'm still pissed about it.
Isn't it funny how when you're in this business, it's like golf. You can remember every single shot, where you were, what happened, how you lost it. It's amazing how that happens.
62-46, 7 minutes to go, win 67-62.
Bucket, you got anything on this game? No? All right, I'll go to Sia. All right, Sia. Now, when they total this low, and yet they want you to lay the 7, it's a very dicey situation because it's going to be low scoring, and you don't want to ever lay this many points. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I think it's going to be low scoring in this one as well. I mean, if you look at the last games between these guys, especially the last game, if I recall correctly, it did come under the total. So, yeah, I'd probably look to the under here. I'm not really looking to bet this one. I actually have a play on our next marquee matchup, the late game, the 11:30 game. If I had to play the BYU game, it probably would be St. Mary's ultimately, but it's a stay away from me.
All right, very good. Well, let's talk about that third game. Our other and final marquee matchup of the day, it is San Francisco taking on the Zags. And the Zags have started to play a lot better. They're getting back into that high-scoring mode that we love so much. But this year, they haven't been the dominant team they have in the past. They're laying 14.5 tonight. The total, a robust 161.5 in a conference tournament. Ooh, maybe we want to tack that a little bit to the under. But Sia, let's start with you, and then I'm coming to you, Zach, on this one as well. The Zags laying this many points against a team that can score a lot of points. I'm a little scared on the spread, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'd be a little scared too. And again, I have a pick on this play. It's one of those things where the line opened, I believe, at 12. It's ballooned all the way up to 14.5 in most spots. And it's getting to a point where there probably should be a little bit buyback on San Francisco. I mean, you mentioned it. Gonzaga's a good team. I'm not sure we know how good these teams are across the WCC. But with that said, it's not the same dominant Gonzaga team with a bunch of NBA players on it like we've seen in the last decade or two. So I do think San Francisco has quite the veteran presence. They got a lot of older guys on their team. They're obviously going to leave it all out there because they're not making the NCAA tournament unless they win this thing. So I think this is a really interesting line that maybe you can attack with a dog.
Yeah, what do you think about that, Zach?
Yeah, I think if you're going to play it, you'd play San Francisco full game, but Gonzaga first half, especially with San Francisco coming off that double overtime win. Khalil Shabazz, he's a gamer. He's gonna have them ready to play San Francisco. That was one of the games I went to last year, and like I said, it's gonna be one of those ebb and flow type of games. I think you take Gonzaga first half, as they're just a juggernaut offensively. They get out on teams. They already beat San Francisco by 18 points this year, but I would not play a double-digit spread for the full game.
You just used one of my favorite words, flow. You know I love when we talk about flow, and today is going to flow all the way through to tonight. You're going to stay up late for this one, 11:30 p.m. Eastern time, and I cannot wait for that. However, it is time.
Oh, Coach, what is good?
First of all, Buckets, what are you putting your hands up for? This is not a good thing.
He said keep them up.
What are you guys starting to do this stuff behind my back? I literally said flow, and now you're ruining my flow as you made a career doing. What do you need, AB?
Well, what I need is this. AB, hit the music. Yep, we are running doubles today. And look, we are playing another game here, all right? We are going, it's called Fade or Follow. What we're going to do is this, all right? We have 4 options on the 2 big WCC games tonight, St. Mary's, Gonzaga, semifinal games. How we're going to break it down is this, all right? You can either choose Gonzaga to cover, St. Mary's to cover, neither team to cover, or both teams to cover. And all 4 of you have a little surprise coming for the audience. So, Coach, throw it right back at you.
Oh, okay. So we have a partner in the chat, and we're going to go with 4 people that are here all the time so people understand that you can participate, but you have to participate, right? All right. So, and even Buckets is going to have a pick here, right?
Uh-oh.
Buckets is in. Keep them hands up, Bucks.
All right. So, Zack Attack, let's go to you first. Of those 4 options, what do you want to go with? And your partner is going to be Bitsy. Bitsy's always in the chat. Bitsy is your partner today on this. What do you like?
All right, Bitsy, let's do this. I'm going to go with the St. Mary's play. Like I said, sometimes I don't love it, but in these conference tournaments, you got to go with that ugly action sometimes to get the cash. So I'm going to go with St. Mary's. That neutral site factor in them being 0-3 ATS is a big deal for me because those other spreads last year was -6.5, -9.5 this year, and then I think the other one was -6.5 as well. So it's still teetering around that spread, but I think on the neutral site, that is a factor for me. I'll take St. Mary's -7.
All right. The other Zach said in the chat, let's get it. I'm excited about this game. But I don't know why I get so upset when you ruin my flow, because you always come with a new great idea. You really, really do. And that big old fat smile that I love so much. Now that you're out of bed, not sick anymore.
Hey.
Damn, it's good to have you back.
Coach, it's good to be back, and let me just give a quick shout-out to all doctors, nurses, EMTs, everyone in the medical community. You are severely appreciated. Let me just say that. Continue.
You guys don't know how bad it got over the weekend, but we're a crew, and we're a team for a reason. All right, now, Buckets. Buckets. Joe in the chat says, I'm tailing Buckets, and he didn't even know what you're picking yet. You've got the love. However, I do need to send out a very happy birthday to one of our OGs, a man who's literally here for every show despite his job. Big Cheesy. Happy birthday. You're partnering today with Buckets. All right? So, Buckets, of these, what are you taking?
Well, first, I want to say happy birthday to my boy, Big Cheesy. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I apologize that you got stuck with me on a college. I assume college basketball. This is what this is, right?
Yeah, yes, it's college basketball.
Okay, good.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Big Cheesy, you know that I would never let you down, buddy. I got you. We are taking both Gonzaga and St. Mary's to cover. I am confident in these two teams like nothing else. Take them both to cover. Me and Big Cheesy will be at the pay window, Coach.
You almost delivered that correctly. All right, so you have Gonzaga and St. Mary's both to cover. I don't know if anybody's going to put that in a parlay, but okay. All right, Sia, you have Renault Brown or Ronald Brown. I apologize if I mispronounced that name. He is your partner. What do you like?
Well, somebody in the chat astutely pointed out that I'm probably just going to be on the opposite of what Buckets is and probably win with my showdown record. And it turns out, strategy, that's exactly what I'm doing.
No.
I'm taking both dogs, neither of the favorites to cover. So give me BYU, give me the San Francisco Dons to cover the spread.
The Yard in the chat says, I didn't know the show could get any better. Thank you. We don't just sit around and just do shows. We're always coming up with ideas and trying them out, unlike other brands who just sit on their hands. All right, so that leaves me. That leaves little old me. And I'm going to go with Gonzaga to cover, minus the 14.5. And Casey next. You are partners with your boy, the coach. So me and you, Gonzaga late night tonight. Let's get it done. Somebody is going to win something.
Coach, speaking of that, this is what they will win. And let me point it out as well. All right, so first off, 20 ounce.
Oh, God, I want one of those. I don't even have one of those yet.
I don't either. That's the thing. I don't have one either, right? So that's what's going to win. And here's how it's going to go down. So obviously someone has to win. Now, if both teams cover, all right, the people who are selected for Gonzaga to cover, people selected for St. Mary's to cover, you will win as well. So you are included in that. Just wanted to make that clarification before the games came.
All right. You handle all the contest stuff. I never worry about that. Nobody ever complains about not getting their stuff. So we're good with AB running it. But since you're here, do you want to stick around, maybe make a pick on the show?
You know what? I'd love to, Coach.
Oh, I would love that. All right, stick and stay. But before we get to our picks, you guys know I got to pay all these people. Let's pay those pesky little bills. Here's a word from one of our incredible partners.
March Madness is almost here. Who's in? Who's out? The answers are revealed on the March Madness Selection Show, March 12th on CBS.
Oh, Live 2 Parlay says Sia bringing home the W. Everybody's got their team they're rooting for, but I don't see anybody rooting for your boy. That's all right. Me against the world. Just like Buckets right now in soccer. It's him against the world. All right, Buckets. We don't run. We don't hide. Even on a light day, that could be the day that we draw a line in the sand and head back the other direction. So you, sir, are going to start us off. What do you got?
Let's make it happen, Coach. And to draw that line in the sand, we are going to stay away from the big leagues today. La Liga, Serie A, EPL, they all have midweek matches, but all of them feature teams historically that, again, are low scoring. So I'm staying away from those guys, and I'm looking at Italy's Serie B. So this is the second flight of Italian soccer, not Serie A, Serie B, maybe? I don't know how to say it in Italy with Italian, but that's fine. We're on the matchup between Genoa CFC and Cosenza, and we're taking Genoa over 1.5 goals team total. I am focusing in on these leagues that have not had to worry about World Cup breaks, have not had to worry about multiple competitions, these teams that are just there to grind their league play and nothing else. And there is no team as good at home this season in Serie B than Genoa, and there's no team worse on the road than Cosenza CFC in this matchup. You have a team that is an absolute juggernaut at home, taking on a Cosenza side that is dead last on the Serie B table and that has more goals conceded on the road and across the league in any of their matches right now. Take Genoa on that team total. Let's get back to the basics, Coach.
I like it. Getting back to the basics. What Buckets did there, very, very smart. For those of you maybe new or you don't evolve and change, if something's not working as we go, what do we tell you all the time? Use it for future picks. And right now, Buckets is leaning into that. The big leagues with the big stars who played all the way through December, they're tired. They don't want to play right now. So let's lean into these games. Very smart by you, Buckets. I don't say that very often. So very smart by you. All right. By the way, if you're looking for other soccer to watch today on Paramount Plus, Synergy. There are 2 games from Serie. Say it with me, Buckets. There you go. Torino, Bologna at 2:45 Eastern, and Sassuolo and Cremonese at 12:30 Eastern. Good luck with that. All right. All right, Zack Attack. You gave us an incredible breakdown of Furman and their conference championship tonight. But there's no way that you would lean into Furman after all of those stats and notes, is there?
I have to, especially with this line move, this big line move going down to -3.5, -4 out there. I'm going to take Furman. I think they've learned their lesson the way they played down the stretch of the year. Probably shouldn't be here. This is another chance in redemption against a team that defeated them last year in Chattanooga. And Chattanooga, a good roster, but a lot of these players were not there last year. I know Jake Stevens is going to be a big catalyst for them tonight, but I just like Furman to learn from their mistakes. I mean, yesterday, their senior players, J.P. Slauson wasn't even on the floor. He fouled out in overtime. Mike Bothwell, one of their leaders as well. 82% from the free throw line. He struggled. He was like 4 for 10 before he started draining them in overtime. So they can recoup. They can recover. Smaller line now. Let's play Furman -3.5. And then out in the Big Sky, I'm going to play an underdog with Idaho State against Montana. I think you look at the way teams finish off the year, you have to ignore it. And Montana is one of those teams that finished off the year 7 of 8 wins, so 16-13 on the year. But this was a team that was 9-12 not too long ago. So you ignore how it's finished off the season. We've already seen right now teams getting knocked off early that finished off the year strong. Samford gone, Eastern Washington gone, Southern Miss gone, Marshall gone. So I look at Idaho State. It's that old saying, it's tough to beat a team 3 times in 1 year. Montana already has 2 wins. Give me Idaho State plus the points.
Oh, I love that so much. I had Eastern Washington last night laying the 7. They hadn't played in 6 days. The other team played the night before, and they lose by 1. You had the other side of that?
At NAU.
Oh, nice. Well, 83-82, I think, was the final, or 82-81, something like that. But good call by you. I was on the wrong side of that on CBS Sports HQ, where, by the way, I picked the Lakers and the Knicks. Oh, I had a good day on HQ yesterday. Opposite Sia on that one pick. So I got something over on him yesterday. All right, Zack Attack, thank you very much. By the way, I feel like giving something away. Bradley Jacobs in the chat said, should be goals in the first Italian match with Sassuolo and Cremonese. Guess what, Bradley? Put in your Venmo right there. I've got to be on a plane at that exact starting time. I need something to watch. So I'm going to bet on this game personally, and if it does have over 2.5, I'm going to send you $100 just because you tipped me off to that right now. So I need your Venmo, Bradley, me and you. Goals today in Serie. All right, now you guys know where I'm going with the Maestro spot. You can't have the week that Sia had without being in the Maestro spot. So AB, I know you've got to pick on one of these WCC games. I want to hear it. What do you got?
Absolutely. Look, and not only with Sia's picks, but our dude hosting shows as well crushed it. I mean, I wish I could have bet on just Sia. That's what I want to bet on. It's just him in general. He killed it. Look, I'm going to keep this simple because I want to get to Sia's picks too. I'm not even going to put myself on a single screen. I heard you guys balderdash here about BYU and St. Mary's tonight. We're taking the over 130 because I'll tell you why. One, St. Mary's is not afraid of Gonzaga. They're not looking ahead. They're like, dude, we beat you. We'll handle that business too, but we've got business to take care of as well. You look at BYU, excellent shooting basketball team. And you know what? They're not just going to lay down tonight either, right? They're going to press it up on St. Mary's. I think the pace of play is going to speed up, and you're going to see 2 teams putting up points and good offensive production. So, yep, give me that over 130.
All right. Oh, I hate betting overs on St. Mary's, but I think your breakdown was absolutely right. And you have me questioning something also. I got an email this morning from the top boss, and it just said, Coach, we need to talk. And now that you bring up Sia hosting, I'm wondering if maybe my job is in jeopardy. Whew. I will not call him back before my flight, though. I will make sure I land to
That's
bed.
A good move. That's a good move.
I know, right? All right. We have reached that time of the show. If you're in the Maestro spot, you have earned it. And this man, the last 7 days, has been our MVP. Buckets, that's most valuable player for you. All right. Counselor, floor is yours.
Coach, I got a text as well from the boss, and it asked me, and listen, I don't want you to get worried, but the text read like this: Are you interested in hosting every day instead of coach? Now, I don't want to read into that. I don't want to read into it, but the writing might be on the wall, so maybe something for you to think about. No, of course I'm kidding, Coach. You are the man. I am in your shadow, and I love hosting, though. So I'm happy to take over when you are out or when AB is out. My pick. Let's finally get to my pick. By the way, Derek Carr looks like he's going to be signing with the New Orleans Saints. Somebody in the chat pointed that out, and I verified it. It hasn't happened yet, but something to look forward to maybe later today. San Francisco plus 14.5. We talked about this. This is a neutral court, which I do like. And by the way, Zack is right. They lost by 18 last time they played, but the time before that, they only lost by 2. That was a home game. So I do think the neutral court will help them a bit. And like I said at the outset, Khalil Shabazz, like Zack pointed out, I mean, this guy's a really, really good player. He's a graduate student. They've got a lot of like senior-ish leadership on their team. It's true. A couple days ago, a day and a half ago, they played a double overtime game against Santa Clara. So you could maybe get tired legs, but I really don't see that here in this semifinal game. So when I look at the range of outcomes here, yes, of course, Gonzaga could blow them out. But I think the range of outcomes more benefits the idea that you might even have a backdoor cover here, but also that San Francisco kind of sticks with Gonzaga in that 10 to 11 point range. Again, this line opened at around 12. It's all the way up to 14.5. So we're grabbing some value here as well. So I'll take, this is a late game. If you want to stay up for it, it starts at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. Those of you on the East Coast, Zack gets the benefit of watching this game before bedtime, but I'll be watching the game, and I think it's going to be an interesting game. I'm really excited to be focused on Khalil Shabazz specifically. Give me the 14.5.
Yeah, I'm going to be in Florida by the time this game starts. How bananas is it how our world works? I could be sitting in California right now, and by the time this game starts tonight, I will be in Florida. So maybe we'll text to keep each other awake, Sia, because it's going to be hard for me to stay up.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right. By the way, in the chat, Rex says Sia is a savage. Rex couldn't say it any better. And Brent is saying that the NFL Network is reporting that Carr to Saints. So one of the main networks is now making it official. Derek Carr will be the next quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. So good for him getting out of Vegas. And now Aaron Rodgers can go there, no problem. All right, gentlemen, well done by all of you today. I love it. We're just getting better. We're just getting bigger. And that's what we're here for. So grab your paper, grab your pencil. Here is the recap courtesy of AB on the 1s and the 2s. Zack Attack Furman. This has come all the way down to 4, 3.5 at some places. Idaho State +5. Then Sia Nejad, the counselor. San Francisco +14.5 late night against Gonzaga. Then buckets to Noah. Team total over 1.5 -135. As he said, we're getting back to the basics. And then AB coming in hard with BYU and St. Mary's over 130. Now, the other thing that we're changing a little bit is going to move a lot of our NBA picks to early edge in 5. Because with the lineups and the load management and all of that, we feel like it's a smart play to do that. So check us out today at 4 p.m. Eastern time. AB, you'll be on the host for that today, yes?
Correct, sir.
All right, very, very good. And that will be every single weekday this week. Also, you'll see Sia in the hosting chair as I will be busy with the Players' Championship. But again, we're a crew for a reason. All right, with all that being said, there's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. For my entire crew, Lobo, the counselor, AB, Zack Attack, and of course, my man Buckets. I am the coach. We're here every single day, multiple times a day. Please turn on your notifications so every time we start a show, you know it. There's only one brand you even need to worry about. We like to call it the Early Edge. Good luck.